Hey guys, it's your best boxing friends. I'm Kelsey. This is Rachel. For some reason, I'm using big hand movements. Hey, Logan Paul and KSI are scheduled for a celebrity boxing death match. It's a rematch of a fight they had. I think it was last year. It's a big hit on YouTube. One of the highest buy rates in pay-per-view history. It was technically a pay-per-view because people had to purchase it on YouTube to watch the fight. But the rematch is scheduled for November 8th at the Staples Center here in America. The last one was in the UK. This time it's going to be on DAZN and promoted by Eddie Hearn. And not only that, but it's going to be a professional boxing match this time. So last time they had the headgear. They were both amateurs. So I guess they've essentially gone pro now. We get this weird spectacle, which boxing is great at doing, promoted by one of the biggest promoters in the world, Eddie Hearn. And on DAZN, these guys are going to have a big, huge main event on the same network that Canelo Alvarez fights on. Rachel, what do you think about that?
Well, I guess it just goes to show that people, no matter time or age, just still enjoy watching a fight.
Yeah, right.
And like we have the excuse of it being like in a ring with rules that makes it like okay. Because if people, although we all know like in school, if somebody got in a fight in the hallway, like everybody was like, oh, like everybody wanted to go see.
Yeah, you want to watch a fight.
You wanted to see what's going to happen. But I feel like as adults that maybe we try to ignore or deny.
There's two kinds of people in the world.
Desire,
people that like to watch fights and then dumb people.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, we're drawn to combat sport type things like fights. That's what draws people to boxing. It's what draws people to mixed martial arts and everything else between. It's what draws people to professional wrestling, which is staged, but still we want to watch people fight. It's even what leads to the success of, there's YouTube channels out there like Street Beefs and UFL that are essentially like people, just regular people in somebody's backyard under boxing or mixed martial arts rules. And hey, they get tons of views. I've watched some of the fights because I watch some people fight and people just like that kind of entertainment.
I think that it also goes to show you that, so we know in boxing that sometimes there are really, really good fights and they're not fighting for a title. They're not top level contenders in their division, but two guys can match up and make a really good fight. So I'm guessing that with these two guys who are not professional boxers, I mean, whether or not they're considered pro at this point.
Oh, they're pro boxers now.
But like what I'm saying is like they're not, in the.
They're not elite. They're not. You would not see this fight. You wouldn't see Oh-No versus Oh-No in a main event unless they're celebrities. And these guys are celebrities here on YouTube and have really huge followings. I watched the first fight. I didn't buy it on pay-per-view, but I watched it because I reported on it for some of the sites that I write for. And these guys, I give them credit in that you can tell when you watch somebody you shadow box, much less actually going to fight, if they've put in the work. These guys have put in the work to do the best they can in this. It takes a lot of courage to fight someone, headgear or not, or boxing or not. It takes even more to do it in front of other people, so I commend them for that. There's a thing in our little boxing culture, it's us, and this is on Twitter if you're not on Twitter. It's sometimes here on YouTube, but like, oh, we hate this, and I hate other people because they're not part of our little whatever. And well, I get it. I think it's important to remember that even this spectacle, and that's what it is, a spectacle, draws attention to the sport that we all love. It's the same thing that Mayweather versus McGregor did. This is a little different, obviously, but it's kind of similar. It's like a circus act thing. Yeah. But that doesn't take away from the two people. Just like Mayweather and McGregor, both those guys were training to win that fight, okay? They went in there and they fought an honest fight. Same thing goes here with KSI and Logan Paul. They're two guys going in the ring and they're going to fight, and it brings a demographic into boxing or exposes a demographic to boxing that I don't think boxing has done a really good job of reaching out to. I know this as a professional boxing writer because there's a lot more opportunity in the world of writing about mixed martial arts because they have tapped in to the younger demographic more than boxing has, at least over the last decade or so. And so I think it's an interesting and noteworthy development in the sport. And I don't know, I'm excited. I'm interested in seeing these guys fight. Let's watch them fight. And we get to watch it on DAZN, which I love because if you're a boxing fan, you're probably already subscribed to DAZN.
Right, so it's not anything extra for us, which is a nice little perk, right?
Yeah, because I wouldn't be buying this on pay-per-view unless somebody bought it for
And
me.
the other thing is, and I've said this before, is that I don't think there's anything wrong in wanting to be entertained.
Right.
And that people have preferences and people like to be entertained in different ways. So some people like to be entertained like seeing a literal circus act, right? Yeah. Some people like wanted to see McGregor and Mayweather.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. That was interesting to me.
Some people want to go to the symphony and be entertained.
Yeah, but there's petting zoos. There's, I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that people like to do. We like to watch people fight.
But my point being, in all of that, there's no reason to tear down what somebody else enjoys. So, for example, I really enjoy watching movies, reading fiction, like whole fiction. Like I love it. There are some people who would tear that down and be like, you know, what is the point of even read? It's not real. Like I guess they only study like nonfiction. I don't know what they do in their lives for entertainment, but it's just not necessary to tear people down because they enjoy something that you don't enjoy. Like, you don't have to enjoy it.
Yeah, you don't have to watch anything. Nobody's forcing you.
Yeah.
I'm interested in the fight. I thought if you watched the last fight, maybe you're out there and you're like, hey, I watched the first fight. I did too. I watched it after it happened, and it's going to be an interesting rematch because in the first fight, I thought Logan Paul got out of the gate fast, and he looked like he was going to win the fight, but his conditioning after the first few rounds went away, and then KSI's better conditioning came into play, and I think he did. The first fight ended in a draw, so this time I think we'll have a definitive winner. Let's watch the fight and just see what it is. I'm also interested. The last undercard on YouTube was full of slightly less celebrity beefs from YouTube and other places, I guess, and so I'm interested to see what Eddie Hearn does in this situation,
how he like the whole card.
Yeah, who he's going to get on this undercard, how it's going to work, you know, because Eddie Hearn is a really good promoter. They did not have that going for them the first time around, and Eddie Hearn is a promoter, and I'm just interested to see what he could do, like what he can bring to the table. You know that what we bring to the table, Rachel. What is that?
Real talk about boxing.
Oh, it's the realest talk there is. We appreciate you watching. We would appreciate it more if you would like, comment, and subscribe. And thanks for coming and hanging out with us today. Come on back tomorrow. Come on back tomorrow. Is that Texas sounding? We're from Texas. Come on back tomorrow. Howdy, y'all. What kind of music do we like? Well, we like both kinds, country and western.